to be coming out soon, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be playing them, even though they're probably going to be likely going to be very great games. Here I am, doing this stream, so without further ado, let's get into it. So the rule, well, not rule, but what I'm planning to do is that we're doing one Ath run and one Zektas run per character, if that wasn't already apparent, because I feel that needs to be said to some extent. Because I need to do World of War backstory, and then Ath, and then we're going to move on to Zektas and just roll the dice, I guess, on backstory. So let's get into it. Ath, the World of War character exclusive, and Tofu. But I should just say custom character for the sake of at least looking over the custom character. But when, we'll see how many I get through. If I don't get through them all, so be it. 2 to 3 hours is normally what I plan, but I'll let you know. Charisma, Strength, Takshisan, Dexterity, Light, and maybe every single stat check. But let's not forget it's Takshisan and Light Source. Why am I not remembering? Anywho, hardware store, move on. So I saw some hello there, but let me just make sure I say that much. I think I'm still on 7-8 second delay. This stream started a little late. Like, literally a minute late. Maybe a bit more, because my mic was messing up for some reason, and I don't know why I did that to myself. But I saw some discussion over basically meta, in a sense, which is still split between some people who play on Harbinger and some people who play on Cultist, Initiate, True Believer, which is fine, but there are some things that you may or may not have to do on certain difficulties, mainly Harbinger, that you could do on easier difficulties. So let me just make sure, because I need to do a thing. I was literally rushing to the stream, but let's just get into it. Sailors, Recluse, Footage, Metamorphosis, and Coma. What do I want to do here? Sailors is last. That's just a personal preference. Some people do Sailors third or first. That's perfectly fine. The torch, in my opinion, isn't a great weapon. It's a good emergency weapon. It's far better than some other weapons that you can start with, although this does have a requirement as well. And if you're playing with vanilla sublocations like no history club, no vending machines, then it can be a bit wonky. Mainly the history club, occult club, cult shop maybe as well. And then I see Metamorphosis and Recluse, which I want to take second and or third in some order. Hello everyone, I'm doing a stream, but I'm thinking of probably gonna do Footage first. Thinking Coma fourth. Hey, as it turns out, when I'm more conscious of it, I do it a lot less often. Mansion twice. What's our max threat level here? Village, Seaside. At least talking out loud for the sake of giving you my thoughts. Downtown, Village, School. We have Coma, Sailors. Had a cough. Recluse, and I'm snapping my... When you hear me snap my fingers like that, I've usually forgotten what I was going to say, or I'm thinking because I've forgotten. Metamorphosis. So, School is high. Downtown max, Village max. I'm gonna say downtown. Why do I not specifically remember everything that I should be doing? Also, I didn't do a thing, so I'll set things up, and hopefully the stream now looks a lot better, or sounds a lot better. Better than it normally does, which is more than I can say about 6 months ago when I hadn't gotten a new microphone yet, which is why I definitely need to replace the current video on my channel that is showing, I think, for returning subscribers, because I sound like... That was when I was streaming Freedom Planet 2. Let's just say it outright, because I can. Let's do the mansion as well. I also never got a weapon, so I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I should focus a bit more. But yeah, it sounds a lot better. So now that I've made sure the stream is okay to some extent, I can talk about the character. 2 Pocket Knives is great for any run where you get mysteries, where basically hospital for me, but any location where you don't want to fight enemies. So in my case, it would be Coma Ward, because there are a lot of hospital encounters I don't like there. For some people, it might be the mansion, because you have Rumu Ghost and the Hole Ridden thing. And so you can use a pocket knife on those two, and it also ignores Kathak. We're not on Kathak, but you can kind of work out the theoretical probability. You could have a little small graphical gripe about the numbers here, but you can still kind of tell what the numbers are here, so that's not so bad. And I might have said something about double digits before, so if this strength were at 10, then the 0 would be cut off, but normally you're not making stats that high unless you're doing something really, really strange. So, that being said, this character neither has... While yes, this character neither has strength or knowledge, and some people might dog shop into a steak knife here. I forgot the steak knife's actual base... base speed, but it can't be better than 70. And as long as it's not 7... And even when it is 70, the fact that if it did 4 damage, which I think it used to do 4 damage a long time ago, correct me if I'm wrong, but since it does 3 now, that doesn't warrant... You can do prep attack very comfortably with the steak knife. What you still might not be able to do is brace, but even if you can brace, again, 3 damage is not great. Hence why you're sitting here. With the Carpenter Hammer, this has a very specific requirement as well. Either you have speed up actions or you have 5 strength. With 5 strength, base Carpenter Hammer stats, you can prep attack, which feels good. Gotta wonder how powerful the pocket knives in this world are that they just like to escape. Because the power of horror tropes, ? Nonetheless, I'm going to take the heavy-duty flashlight. It's not the best here. If I had 5 knowledge, it would be a lot better. Maybe I do build knowledge, because building knowledge allows you to break thresholds in ghost fights. Mainly because of 5 damage, assumably. I believe the heavy-duty flashlight does 5 damage with 8 knowledge. So, that's the hope. But yes, pocket knife also lowers doom by 4 with every use. If it's given to you for free, no reason not to use it. Funny enough, I'm gonna take this wine bottle. Or was it champagne? No, wine bottle. And I'll actually save it. Although if I need the reason, I'll use the reason. Did I ever? Yeah, I did. I have the handcuffs right now, so I did use the police station. We're also holding on to a boatload of spells, but the reason why we're using Ath is Ath is usually quote unquote the easiest old god, in my opinion. I'm trying to figure out how I best want to phrase it. But I think that's just how I want to do it. Nice 10 roll on knowledge, by the way. Because Zektas doesn't really give some... Even though it kind of does, Zektas is only one of 9 gods. Why am I forgetting this? But Ath, however, usually doesn't interfere as much with most characters. Obviously, if your character is a magic-based character, or they start with, like, Ghost Connection, right? Ghost Connection, a spell after every mystery, then yes, it can be a bit intrusive. At the same time, most good or very strong spells, I guess, will be more objective, phrasing the terms, don't actually suffer under Ath. So that's kind of funny to think about. But so Snoo Monster here, I could pocket knife. Even if I had the monkey wrench, I would not be able to do any better. Unless we had damage fluctuation. You know what? We might as well. We'll use it once there, but we'll try to save the second for something worse in the 4th or 5th mystery, assumably. Although, being able to level up to 8 knowledge before Recluse seems like a fever dream. So that might not happen. Yeah, that might not happen. I want to take Metamorphosis now. I guess I should. And we'll see how badly this goes. Because I would like to level up. Actually, I should have taken Recluse if I was going to do this. But it's a bit too late now. If I fight something, I might still be able to level up. Otherwise, funny enough, a library play might have been good. But we'll see. Because I didn't also look at the perk pack. I could pull the characters up behind the screen and start looking at the perk packs. Even then, I don't remember every perk pack off the top of my head. So hey, 5 Charisma, 6 Dexterity, but hey. It's fine. It's not fine. It's still fine. Thankfully, we have Ghostly Spear, but we can still do some theory crafting when we're in the boss fight. Unless we pick up the Katana here. I mean... Sure. For giggles, I could just keep using the heavy-duty flashlight, but we're not. First time we played Recluse, Took it as your first mystery, not starting with a weapon, very quickly regretted that. Because yes, there is a ghost waiting for you at the end of that mystery. And Sever Kick, while it can be interesting, because if you have... Yes, funny enough, if you have 8 knowledge, you do 3 damage Sever Kicks, and you get... I think you get 3 Sever Kicks, right? So you can do 9 damage per turn. However, unfortunately, the difference between 8 and 9 in that specific situation of ghost encounters normally doesn't provide benefits in the way that it doesn't allow you to defeat ghosts quicker most, if not all the time, from my memory. Maybe it does, but it doesn't. I'm gonna reroll once here just to see what else I get. Okay, not really much. We'll build into knowledge. I don't know how great that's gonna be for me, but again, we can theory craft while we're here. So with the heavy-duty flashlight, I'd be doing about 8 per turn. Can I even brace into anything? No. So I would be doing 4 per... Well, I wouldn't even be getting 4. I would be getting 2 for -1 all at 80%. And assuming we miss... Let's say we miss only once. We have about 5 reasons worth of turns. That's 5 turns for 10 kick damage. And with the heavy-duty flashlight, yeah, it wouldn't be enough. So thankfully we have the katana. Unfortunately, we can't prep strong, but we don't need to for the next turn. So we'll just eat 3 all damage to the face. Why are we all eating 3 all damage to the face again? Yes, we could also cast Ghostly Spear. That would have been the emergency, but you can imagine taking Metamorphosis now. Would have been a very bad decision without either and/or Katana and/or Ghostly Spear. So yeah. But for giggles, we'll re-equip the heavy-duty flashlight just to see. Katana, if I win with the katana, it's less the character and more the katana, right? So, speaking back of the character, which I also should have drank the wine bottle. That's my mistake. We'll go into... Well, you know what? We'll katana here, because I feel like I want to test something with the boss fight here. If nothing else, we'll just end up throwing something at the boss here, maybe. But the character in general, looking at the level ups, the character succeeds more on events, obviously with some help of winging it. The problem with winging it, though, for most people, and I agree as well, is that if you are at... Say if you make the events harder on yourself, on Harbinger, right? I think that's winging it. Yeah, winging it. The events are harder, but you get more experience. The problem is that on Harbinger, you're already suffering under high theoretical probability. Now, if your RNG is good, it's great. But other than that, it doesn't really provide any benefit to your run as a whole, but mainly encounters. Encounters are a big factor of character balance, which is why I guess this character gets 2 pocket knives, which helps lower Doom, which is something that is good for the character. It's just not... I'm not going to say it's not enough, but it is still a good balance if the character is supposed to be moderately weaker. Now, obviously, depending on your situation, like Kathak, this character benefits a lot more because you can use pocket knives, but obviously we're not in Kathak, and we are, unfortunately, we have more boss. Basically, in a run with a lot of boss runs and not good RNG, the run can go downhill pretty fast. In fact, we might even still die here, but let's find out. I at least know which some events to take and what choices in those events to take to heal Reason, but as you can see here, we're eating -3 Reason damage, so... Really? Metamorphosis boss does -3 all damage at base on Harbinger? Anywho, we could drink this to heal, I might as well, because otherwise... So what do we get with the katana? We definitely get 2 sever actions. And then we get this. So it does do... I want to say 5 damage at base, because the knowledge bonus plus the base damage equals 6. So if we take... If for no one else than myself, but you can learn this too. If you get the katana, which is already an I win button, but let's just move on with the thought. If you get the katana and you take Recluse 3rd, or earlier than that, you can 2-shot this boss, but obviously that you're not always going to pick up the katana. So, overall, in my mind, katana is still not as great a weapon, but when you get it, it's the, if not arguably, best weapon in the game, but still. Wish Metamorphosis had more endings or choice branches. The idea behind the story is solid. Can someone confirm this? If you do Metamorphosis side quests, is it ending A? Because I swear I've done it without doing the side quests, and I've always gotten ending B, question mark. I mean, I could check myself. I just don't remember the mystery board, but anywho. Can't watch the stream live. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Basically, don't worry about it. What this character can do, which is apparent with the perk packs, is run away. So 3 Doom for running away for 10 experience is something you can do, because essentially that turns your run into a Doom for experience run. The unfortunate thing is you have to get both of these perks, so we'll see if we can. If we don't, so be it. That's what the pocket knives are kind of for, but the pocket knives unfortunately don't give you experience. They decrease your Doom, which is good enough, but if we're talking about benefits to synergize with, that's not that. I forgot if Pocket Knife procs the effect of stealth and grants you 10 experience. I want to say no, but maybe it's true. But again, if nothing else, you'd have to get stealth, which is nice. So if that does synergize, that puts the character in a better place. Not that much better. I think the side quest for Metamorphosis, to answer the question in chat, is to get... Is it gossip at the schoolyard, or is it visit a location twice? Either way, you do a side quest there, and I think you get ending A. Again, it's been a long time since I've tried. Basically, since the stream where I did it. Also, we're close to dying here, so let's not play with fate. And we'll stay the night, but still... I want to say that's how you get ending A, because otherwise, all you do is get ending B, but that would make no sense. Anywho. Gotta ask, what's the trick to finding the stuffed doll without looking at the hint? Apparently, the hint is supposed to show you, because otherwise it's random if you don't get the hint. 50-50 or something like that. But every time I check behind the bed, I get the stuffed toy, so I'm not... If the hint is supposed to show you, because the stuffed toy's location can be different, then it's currently a bug that every time I search behind the bed, the thing happens. You get the stuffed toy. I don't think I really have any enemies to give, so what I'm really looking at is probably this, right? Yeah. And this, thankfully, takes priority over... It ignores the Ath rule. Oof, stuttering. But we'll take the extra point of knowledge for no other reason than maybe ghost things. But I want to say the trick is maybe a bug, basically, because you're supposed to be looking at the hint. Again, I don't know for sure. I want to be certain, but in this game with the amount of jank, which is good and bad at times, it's really uncertain. If you've looked behind the bed without looking behind for the note and gotten the stuffed toy every time, then maybe it is a bug. There's no trick behind it. That's the answer to your question. So, we could throw away the pocket knife. We have better things to throw away, quote unquote. And by that, I mean not really. Do you have any fumes, by the way? No, we don't. So, I mean, I could just look at the icons and tell. We have the 6th floor, and I've forgotten my second encounter, but no, we don't have it. We have Takushi-san and a light source. So let's find out. I think the side quest of Metamorphosis just gives 15 experience, since it only has an ending. But the odd thing is, I want to say I've gotten the Knight Errant penalty off that ending. And I swear it says ending B, but maybe not. Again, I'd have to look at it again. That being said, this is another great enemy to pocket knife from. So yeah, without any time speed increase or high strength, there's almost no way Yeah, we'll hold on to this for now. I'm not going to be taking the Glued Corpse fight. Remember the side quest text vividly, don't remember what the objective was. Just a research one, but it really I'm not going to argue with that. I'm just saying why, oh my goodness. I'm just saying, I swear I've gotten the Knight Errant penalty. But maybe I'm wrong, Maybe I'm misremembering it. Thankfully, we have running shoes to make this cost less Doom. We also should be resting here again. I don't know why I'm not. But we'll move on. If we get Metamorphosis again in a future run, we'll try it out. But that means I have to use Schoolyard. I guess I can replace it with History Club, since most of the time, for whatever reason, I'm not visiting the History Club. As we get another empty bottle. Okay, so we'll just do this. I'm not gonna wait. I don't think there's an undead enemy at the seaside. So we'll move on. Only on my stream. Really? I wonder what's going on. Everything looks fine. Someone let me know if anything's weird with my stream. Don't know what Knight Errant parentheses. Oh, so Knight Errant, if you didn't know, Knight Errant is a backstory. Not really a spoiler, because eventually it's something you'll get just by playing the game, as we stop here for a moment. Rip the Mummified Heart. The game really likes to tease me. But Knight Errant is a backstory where if you don't get ending A in a mystery, you get 6... your doom increases by 6 at the end of a mystery. So that is where I'm pulling my information from. So yeah, I wonder what that is then. I'll try to figure it out after the stream. I'm in the middle of one, and I was having problems before the stream too, but I don't think they were related to that. But anywho. So yeah, Knight Errant can be a hard backstory. Obviously, if your character's really good, you can kind of ignore it for the most part. And on Harbinger, there are some mysteries where you just have to accept the doom increase. Say, well, even not on Harbinger. For example, Botanist with no mermaids. Because in Mermaids, you get the Fire Axe, and to get ending A, you need the Fire Axe on Botanist to get ending A. And then you need to do the side quest, and then you need to face tank the damage on Harbinger with 13 max stamina and reason base. Other examples include Footage, where you have to basically roll on RNG, because if your RNG is not good in the hardware store, you're just taking the doom damage, if not more, than the Knight Errant penalty. And I can see how some players don't enjoy that, I guess, base lack of interaction. Lack of interaction was... Why did I say base? So yeah, that's Knight Errant in a nutshell. There are some nuances here and there. Nuances? But yeah. As for my stream, is anyone else experiencing trouble with my stream? I don't really understand it. So... And apparently it's only with my stream for some people watching. But otherwise... Again, I don't see any dropped frames. I don't see anything else. And when I look at the other screens I have my stream pulled up in, everything looks fine. Also, we're doing this. So, we have 3 sources of good luck. We got Ghostly Spear, which is essentially anywhere from 15 to 20? No, 18 to 24 free damage, depending on how comfortable you like your max stamina to go. Mine is usually around 9 or 10. We got the Katana, and then we ran to Burning Man. So... all 3 of these things on Ghost Town for Mizuki's challenge are pretty much I win buttons for at least 3 mysteries minimum. But hey. Don't have any problems with streams working fine. So I don't know, yeah, because that's a good test to run. If someone's stream is going wonky, mine may be included in that. You go watch other people's streams or whatnot. That's something I do as well, so I find that really odd that I feel like maybe it could be me, because I'll admit my setup is not the best. But at the same time, I'm not trying to stream off in i3? Why am I saying i3? But basically, I'm not trying to stream off Intel Graphics 3K or something like that. Among other things that may or may not matter. I'm not going to pretend to be a tech expert. But hey, that should be more than enough. We've been here for 31 turns, that's more than enough. I did kind of turn my brain off, but it did allow me to check the stream. So yeah, both Burning Man and Dullness are blind, so they don't attack until you do. Funny enough, though, if you try to bow and clap, they will start attacking. But I guess if you clap in front of an aggravated enemy, I think I've mentioned this before, but if you clap in front of an aggravated enemy, then yeah, they might come to attack based on where the sound is going. However, when you pick up things around them, it's perfectly fine. If the developer really wanted to balance that, I would say that only allow... And across all encounters, one fix you could do is to only allow the player to improvise X amount of times. Probably maybe 3 or 4 times. That's more than enough than you would improvise in any encounter, really. But it would definitely add a limiter to Burning Man Dullness, which, again, 3 or 4 improvise is more than enough for the purposes of balance, in my opinion. If you want to do more or less, so be it, 2 improvise limit, but... Again, that would be my band-aid fix to that-ish. So, hey. But yeah, not really much else to say about the character. 3 strength and not a lot of knowledge don't lend itself to the best weapons, but obviously that's not what the character, based on the perks they get, or the bonuses they get at the beginning of a run and their perk packs, mainly that's what you're looking at. It's a very escapist character, and if you're on Kathak, you can still make some use of it, but unfortunately, running shoes and stealth become dead perks. Even if pocket knife procced stealth, you're not normally going out of your way to buy pocket knives. Unless, of course, maybe you're this character, but you usually run to like 7 or more encounters during a run. I would say 7 is the average-ish, but anywho. Let's not waste any more time. We'll do Zectast, which will be an interesting experience, and then move on to the next character, which is why I might not run into more characters. So, let me check something really quickly, because I see more than a few DMs that I've received. So, that's all I can really say. So without further ado, with the power of 13 damage, we get to one-shot Takushi-san. So again, the character is... The thesis statement of this run is that the character does play some part, but what happens during a run still plays more of a part. If I didn't have proof of that, this run provides Exhibit X, however many exhibits there are, to that statement. But anywho, everything wants to be... Yeah, so I'm sorry about that, but hey. I'll do my best. Just finished achievements today, and swear Ghost Town was harder than Mimi's Obsession. It's because, as a player that we'll just say, a player that I respect among others, because others have said the same thing, Ghost Town, you really lose a lot of agency. Am I using the right word? Agency in Ghost Town? And then the character Mizuki gets neutered to the ground because Mizuki cannot use any of her benefits in that challenge. On top of, if you're playing it on Harbinger, only increases the difficulty. But really, losing a lot of I think someone mentioned that, hey, sublocations don't matter. Guess what? They do. Because otherwise you don't get a weapon. So, Zectast we go. So, Zectast Scars character exclusive Tofu. Because, yeah, otherwise you're just... that doesn't mean there's no strategy. That I will use as a devil's advocate argument if we're gonna... I'll basically give my opinion, because otherwise I'm just regurgitating other people's opinion. But there is some agency, and that's literally grinding other things. So, at the same time, the counter-argument to my devil's advocate argument is you're relying on RNG anyway, but that's not wrong. If nothing else, at minimum, Ghost Town is a kind of knowledge check on the player's part in terms of, do you know... I don't want to say that what I want to say, but I don't want to say that it's an that you're looking for I win buttons, basically. Katana, Dull Nurse, or Burning Man. There's a third one. Getting Ghostly Spear and or Mind Drain from an event. Those are the 3 ones that come off the top of my head. Did I say Katana already? Anywho. Takushi-san, Knowledge, Charisma, Dexterity, Light Source, and Second Encounter. Maybe, although if I see a stat check on Zectast, that's basically... You're failing those checks, so what's really happening is that we're losing 6 stamina and 3 reason. Hopefully we get a light source, maybe-ish. But hey. But yeah, that's Ghost Town. It can be a knowledge check of sorts, because if you don't know what you're doing... Objectively, I have to say, if you don't know what you're doing in Ghost Town, then it turns into your RNG... Your chance of surviving decreases drastically, basically. So you want to choose all the safer options, usually, unless you're going to take a gamble on RNG. Say, you're going to walk into an otherworldly event, hope it's the Bleeding Desert, and hope you get the katana. Maybe you grind the hospital looking for Dull Nurse, and then once you've exhausted all the broken branches and whatnot, also we're taking Ancestral Strength. Then you search for the Burning Man at the seaside, hoping that you don't run into any other encounter, maybe the cat. Or you try to rolling for spells in events, and if you get spells, hope that they're good spells. So things like that are... I don't think anyone could deny that they're knowledge checks, but I wouldn't deny that it's all based on RNG. Let's just say that much. And knowing more about the game definitely helps you out in that challenge, although on Harbinger, it does turn into a big RNG fest, so... Okay. So let's go with costume A and move on. Vigil, Flood, Ramen, Footage, and Nails. Well, just repeating it again, if you don't know why I'm taking Flood, or I dislike taking Flood as the 4th or 5th mystery, the damage increase here results in a lot of pain on Harbinger, because the boss on Flood normally does -3 reason on Harbinger. Theoretically, you get the Theologist, who decreases it to 2, but after the 4th mystery, or after the 3rd mystery, sorry, the damage increases back to 3 with the Theologist. If you don't pick up the Theologist, you're taking 4 reason damage, which is, I would not advise anyone to do, but maybe you have to. So yeah, in general anyway. Also, I did not pick up the thing, although do I want to? Do I want to pick up a weapon? When you have Ancestral Strength, I wouldn't really argue if someone wanted to do Ancestral Strength, no weapon runs. That does save on Doom-ish, and we have 2 pocket knives. And we're on Zectast. So we'll find out. Unfortunately, the pocket knives, we don't have a way to really directly trade Doom in an attempt to get stats. You can with the help of the library. Also, no, that's fine. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but basically, you want to level up in Zectast to try and avoid dying to 0 statting, which we will die at 63% Doom if our strength does not increase somehow. Theoretically, it's supposed to be through Zectast events, but that's complete RNG. In fact, I was going to use a thumbnail, but I decided not to. Even though I'm pretty sure I would have all the right to. Unfortunately, we also... Do we just die immediately, by the way? Thankfully, no. Maybe still so. Because Scars does not lend itself well to bad event RNG. And as much as as much as I would like, it's because I cast Ancestral Strength, let's be real here, but I also didn't use the police station. I should have done that. Anywho. So, what do we get for this? We might, assuming we hit every single kick, ooh, my voice. Assuming we hit every single kick, this can be completely fine. Unfortunately, you know what, for giggles, we'll go for it. If we somehow die, if we die early on, as I said, I'll probably just do the character again. But I think we're guaranteed, oh no, are we guaranteed? I think we are. Because this does 5 damage per, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. But yeah, if I didn't already say it already, an increase in 1 damage can mean a lot. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it does. That's my little opinion. Interesting that Fear Festival has rest penalties, but Flood doesn't. Guess because Fear gives you a lot more chances to rest, but still. Yeah, so that was... And actually, if you didn't know, Festival used to also not increase Doom when you rested there. That was changed somewhat recently in 9.92, I want to say. So that Doom starts increasing and scales with every rest. So maybe Festival gets the same treatment, but Festival is obviously different because you are then therefore forced to go through the events and pick up every researcher. So it's more like at that point, if Flood got Doom increases, basically the game would be pushing you towards ending A, where normally you would have the choice of what ending you really want, if that makes any sense. As we take Nails. So yeah. So we're doing Nails here. Nails is definitely... I feel like there were 2 gossip mysteries that were added though. Why am I going crazy here? Because one... Does that mean Metamorphosis was the other one? Because I know School is either visit downtown twice or visit school twice. And I think Metamorphosis is the flip side. Is it? Am I going crazy? Anywho. Well, nonetheless, we can't get any A here, even if I wanted it. I normally don't, because the boss fight is, in my opinion, easier. Seaside, Forest. Seaside, Forest, and we have... Flood. Depends on where the Theologist is, but just out of safety, I'm going to do... I know we have Sailors later on. I'm going to do this out of safety, though. In case Flood directs me to the Forest for the Theologist. Because the village and school are low threat level, which are the other places a researcher can be. So, yeah. Let's find out. Well, this is gonna be bad, but I'm gonna take the Doom increase because that's the lesser of two evils from what I'm thinking. So we lose stamina there. Do we have fetid fumes, by the way? Why am I... We have riots. Almost a nothing, so... That being said, a lot of town effects are harmful anyway, so having things that basically do nothing or are almost near negligible, I'll take. 6 dexterity, please. Thank you. Hospital's high threat level, so be it. We'll deal with it because we have to enter Flood soon, and then we roll a 12. Plus 2, but 12. I shouldn't have done this. I think I'm just going to take the guaranteed hit. Never mind, it's the reason one. That being said, 22% Doom, and we're near the end of the mystery, if not at the end of the mystery, is pretty good. If I were to comment on my current place. We'll check the wounds to level up, but I'm pretty sure none of this is really going to help me. So we die at... We'd also die at 84% Doom to Knowledge, I believe, but we need to increase Strength first. I might even reroll. I'm going to reroll this. For Scars, funny enough, it's good, but my general opinion on this still applies, where on Harbinger, it's a lot more dangerous. Just that extra location being at high or max, resulting you dying on reason checks is a bit... No, not reason checks, sorry. You pass all event skill checks, but it doesn't change the fact that you still sometimes quote-unquote receive the penalty when you succeed. I guess I might as well, though. I could be running from an encounter. We'll try it out. It's better than nothing still. But if you run into an encounter, it can be bad. Although this character wants to run away regardless, so I guess it's okay-ish. And as the previous... Oh my goodness, my voice. As with the previous encounter, if we hit all these kicks, we're good. Because we can desperate kick, but... Hey... When you don't hit them all. That being said, you're probably going to miss once or twice, so you should take that into account. If we're being serious for a moment... Why am I bracing here, by the way? I should just do this, because we're taking 1 damage anyway. Here is where it helps more, and I'm hitting prep so I can save more real-life time, but... One, this is a moment where you dodge if you want to, which we thankfully do, so we save on 2 HP overall. But with an increase of 1 damage, turns out you break a lot of thresholds, but you normally have to have Desperate Struggle available, which may not be the case here. But we'll see. Again, same thing here. If we hit... Well, we just need to hit 2 kicks. The question is, do I get to do anything else? No, so I might as well brace. Dodging would be great. Unfortunately, I don't need that question mark. Oh, I do. Because I need to do 2 kicks. So what I was going to say still applies. Can I do 2 kicks? No. So dodge. If I had 7 dexterity. Because that would allow me to attempt 2 kicks. I guess what I can do instead is just go out of my mind. The chance of missing 2 out of these 3 kicks is not great. Or is not low, sorry. But what I can do instead is trade reason for stamina. Hurts me overall HP-wise. But next turn, as long as I hit 2 kicks, I can desperate action into handcuffs. Now, I could just go out of my mind and do the same thing so that I can save the handcuffs. I don't think there's any reason for me to, though. So instead, let's just do this. And then handcuff. Unfortunately, for better or worse, we need to take Flood now. There's Fetid Fume, so hey. We are on Scars, so by grabbing Flood now before the damage increase, we'll be taking, I think, only 1 reason damage? Am I going crazy? I just talked about the base damage on Harbinger for the boss, but anywho. So we just go out of our minds and just roll the dice here. Although we do need to still hit all 3 kicks to Desperate Struggle guarantee. And I hate kicks, but that's a personal preference. Kicks are amazing in more than a few situations. Unfortunately, this is not one of those situations. But anywho, We'll desperate action and then kick. Again, this is all due to ancestral strength, less on the character. The character, I don't think, has really provided as much of a benefit. I can talk about the 5 dexterity, allowing me to at least guarantee a kick, but it takes a lot for your dexterity to be not high enough for you to not dodge into a guaranteed kick, is what I'm trying to say. And then we'll rest twice here for the sake of my stamina. And then the Theologist is in the village, so 33% chance of avoiding forest shenanigans, although I think we've already had Frostbite Land, right? So we might as well go into Katana Land. And finally, we failed that, but I'm gonna rest again. Does anything bad happen if I don't grab any researchers? I swear you can't do that, though. I guess we're gonna find out. But this should be where we get the Theologist regardless. Unfortunately, we lost some reason there. I don't know if it matters, though. Let's find out. Matters in the way of I don't want to drink the wine bottle. Obviously, I should be able to beat the boss here. We have to roll the dice a few times. In fact, we could dodge. This might actually be better. Question mark. The potential damage for doing this action... I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see my forefinger pointing. But this is better for potential damage, but this is better for per reason if you're lucky. In either case, you're rolling on RNG. For giggles, I could do this. But at the same time, the longer you leave enemy B alive here, the more HP this boss gets, so that's something to factor in. I'm just going to take a risk on going for full potential damage because I'm going to go for full potential damage, but anywho. 72% chance, by the way. Overall. But anywho, let's just keep rolling the dice. We want to get rid of enemy B. That's all you want to say. Although I'm missing so many of these kicks that I cry. Yeah, we probably have to drink the wine bottle, all things considered. I don't think we're going to get it low enough. Well, either way, I want to drink the wine bottle anyway, so let's do it now. Yeah, this tofu is literally just drop-kicking everything it runs into, over and over. Now, it says punch at times, so it's probably just headbutting things as well, but... Hey, and as it turns out, we don't even need to desperate action. And then we'll level up. So winging it, all event skill checks have a negative modifier, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, winging it and survival instinct come together. And they do synergize in that way. The problem is, again, you're hurting yourself. I've worked with winging it and survival instinct, and it's gone well, but the obvious example of pain is that you run into encounters after being hit by winging it, and then you don't get to use the survival instinct, because their enemies at a Harbinger hit so hard that on Mystery 4 onward, you're definitely taking more than even just 3 reason damage, because you need to be below 3 reason. If you're at 3 reason, I believe it doesn't proc, so... But that's why this character can run away, right? So again, the perk packs do synergize. They're just not the best synergy for Harbinger, but it's more than balanced enough, I guess, if I were to reflect on my earlier first impressions. This is the other thing. And unfortunately, the bottle of blood does not result in more damage when thrown. We have 7 charisma, though. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. No, wait, it was enough. Success. I'm going crazy. I saw -1 reason and assume I failed. But one simple way to put it is that if your RNG is good, then you profit a lot off winging it. If not, you just eat it and die. But that's the whole design of the perk, right? I could pocket knife here. If this did, funny enough, if this did reason damage, I wouldn't mind taking damage on purpose and then running away. But because we're here, and because I want to make sure I use pocket knife a few times, let's just use it. Mansion encounters, in my opinion, aren't bad encounters to use the pocket knife on. Obviously, you still want to know which ones are painful for you and which are not. Basically, anything but the severed head. Is it called severed head? I can't remember. And on a different timeline, yes, we could have gone to Vigil here and immediately gotten the meat cleaver, but we also had nails into flood, which is why we did the order that we did. So give me about 10 seconds while I take care of something. And I'm back. So basically things need company around me, and just making sure that, yes, I am alive, and I'm alive. Animated hit, sorry, I got your name wrong. Nonetheless, so do we want to play with it? I don't mind dying now. We'll move on to the next character, but essentially what we're gonna do here is just eat this damage in the face, and then theoretically pass every skill check. Thankfully, because I know of encounter, I call it encounter lockout. I don't know. I think there's a better term to use. Let me know if there is. But essentially, I cannot run into any more location-specific enemies for 2 investigations. Had a cough. So, for example, I think I lose reason here, though. Those are the actual literal downsides if we talk about it for a moment. And I might as well try to remember. Yeah, so here you succeed. This is one of the few events that does reason damage, and unfortunately, I don't get the spell before I die to reason. So this is a very funny example of when winging it is worse for you, because if you succeed in an event, but it still takes away resources, in this case reason, because it procs off reason, then yes, you want to avoid those. I completely forgot, because most of the time you take the right choice and nothing happens to you. But if we're talking about actual upsides and downsides, this is one of the few downsides. It is good to talk about, because if you start using custom events and they start removing reason, and say this was on a max or high threat level location, even -1 reason kills you, because obviously winging it requires you to be at 2 reason or below, and events that have a high threat level that remove 1 reason do 2 reason damage. So, you know, I don't think I have any way out. I think I just accept death here, right? Yeah, I accept death. So at least we got that good of a showcase. So we'll move on to the next character. I can feel something in my body, but it's fine. As we move on to an actual English, officially English translated. Because yes, I played this character before and translated it myself. But here, it's been translated by the creator of the mod. So, as we get to add the World of Horror character exclusive custom character, we start with the police revolver, but we have paranoia, which can be more, and the police revolver is not the best, especially since, unfortunately, because there are only 2 bonus items available to custom characters at the moment, as I give my 20 to 30 second intro to balancing characters. Normally, if you're gonna give a custom character a firearm weapon, to be precise, you want to give them the extra ammo item, usually. But at the same time, you can come up with lore-related reasons, like when they were zooped over to Shiokawa, they had no more bullets. But regardless, gameplay-wise, you start with a weapon. Unfortunately, aside from the old shotgun and maybe the sports rifle, if you had bullets, there aren't, and the semi-auto, obviously. The semi-auto would probably be a more fair weapon, because perception is usually a dead stat. You want to build your character towards perception. That's the least you can do if you're going to give the police revolver, but unfortunately, for immersion and lore-wise, the character makes sense. Unfortunately, balance-wise, paranoia and the police revolver, well, you're going to see in a hot moment. So, dexterity, strength, second knowledge, and charisma. I'm not saying the character was made badly. I'm just saying, gameplay-wise, I have to give my opinion. I'm not going to pretend and try to say it was a good opinion. And yes, you can illegal now we can illegal den-ish. I might still have wanted to choose with 6 strength and 5 dexterity, or 6 strength and 7 knowledge. 5 dexterity is okay for non-Harbinger difficulties as well. But what I want to say is that 6 strength, I would just forego the police revolver and just grab something at the hardware store. We'll probably do that for Zictast, but anywho. So this is a difficult character or an easy character. It is, in my opinion, a little worse than average, but barely, because the character at least has the weapon to start. Let's actually do some math here so I can be certain. But the main reason why I say that is that if you can look at the police revolver and call it a worse steak knife, because with the steak knife, at least you usually get guaranteed prep attack, prep attack. With the police revolver, we'll do the math here. 80 minus 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 80 minus 24 is 56. So yes, you essentially get the steak knife. I think the steak knife is faster though. And unfortunately, the damage when shot on Harbinger. This is all talk from a Harbinger standpoint. Devil's Advocate though, non-Harbinger difficulties, you can do anything you want. But 9 damage when shot per bullet for an action that also gives you a status effect called Ringing Ears, which slows you down for the rest of the mystery, is not great. And you can normally only fit 1 fire action, and if you try to go for 2, sometimes your accuracy is not high, so I'm shrugging in real life when I say that, yes, this is essentially another version of the steak knife, which already suffers in Harbinger. Now, if and when we get the day when Police Revolver and the steak knife can do 3 prep attacks in a turn, maybe it gets better. But the fact that it does 3 damage, if it did 4 damage, that might even just put it at odds with the better weapons, in my opinion, and other Harbinger players' opinions. But as we go into Botanist, yeah, if nothing else, we'll see. It also depends on the enemy, but just off of general, which weapons are good or not, Police Revolver performs not as great. But it's still better than having no weapon, because then you're stuck with kicks that do 2 damage. So hey. Basically, having Ancestral Strength makes this weapon better. Having Ryoko makes this weapon better with the steak knife. But the steak knife also has its own nuances in that you have to enable the dog shop, which you might not want to do because you like vending machines better. For me, I do. So that's why I mind it as much. Then you have to prepare for a weapon that you might have already, like I have the Police Revolver. Why would I go into the dog shop or the illegal den to grab more ammo? I enabled the illegal den because of board. There's a lot to talk about. But until I get into an encounter, I can't really say more, because it does really still depend on your exact situation. At the same time, you can still talk about a vacuum of investigations, events, runs, and so on and so forth. But, anywho. Basically, I want to provide you the proof in gameplay before I say everything else that I want to say. So, until we run into one, forest encounters are a bit harder in my opinion, but we can still talk about the Police Revolver in general. On top of having Paranoia, which already results in more damage-ish, both from, I'm pretty sure it procs off attacks and event decreases in whatever things. So, because Paranoia is one version, Suicidal is the flipped version. But anywho. This also means that this character can't let go of allies if we're to talk about more things, because Paranoia, if you didn't know, Paranoia results in your let go action for allies. So instead of letting your allies go, you end up killing them. And I think you heal Reason, but some ally effects do not work with the Paranoia let go, quote. I guess I'll call it quote unquote let go. But anywho. So here, obviously, this enemy is a special one. It doesn't matter what weapon you're using. Unless you're actually doing a non-ending A ending, but even if that were the case, shooting this enemy and taking all damage without being able to brace comfortably, or bracing without being able to shoot accurately, if we're to flip that around, is not something I would gamble on. Because then, obviously, missing means a lot more for fire weapon because you lose a bullet. So, I'm shrugging in real life as I tell you what happens. That being said, I could just do this now. Yeah, let's take this now. We can actually get rid of Paranoia with Recluse, so that's a very specific thing for this custom character, or any character that starts with Paranoia, or Suicidal, or any bad negative curse, is that if you have Recluse, you can grab the doll here and get rid of it. I don't know why some people downplay the effect of Stuffed Toy here. I understand where it comes from. It comes from the fact that normally when you're getting curses, which is not exactly a low chance of happening, but when you get curses, they're normally, you can kind of just shrug them off. And some people can shrug off Paranoia, but if you don't believe in your RNG like I do, it means a lot more to be able to stuffed doll, curse remove, paranoia, which I might as well just do now. It's been a long time. I want to say that the stuffed toy, if you sacrifice it at the end of Recluse, lowers the HP of this boss encounter. But even if it did, I swear it was only like 2 HP, which is not enough to normally make a difference. But anywho, I should do it again at some point, but yeah, the roommate has 22 HP at base, plus 1 HP due to being the second mystery. And if this character had more knowledge, yeah, so Police Revolver already does pretty low damage. And the Steak Knife technically as well. I think the Steak Knife is different, but essentially 3 sever damage here means a lot of pain. I might even throw the Police Revolver, all things considered. Thankfully, we have some reason healing in the way of forgetting spells, but boy, does this not feel good, is basically what I'm saying. And brace needs to be at least 9, or you need a time increase to be able to brace into sever, which I would love to do here. That way I only take 1 reason damage per turn, but yeah. Even if you had the crowbar, because sever's time unit cost is normalized to 100 for pretty much every weapon, if not every weapon, sever kick being sever kick is an exception. Even the crowbar does 4 damage off 7 knowledge. So you can see why I'm having a problem with this here, because we're taking 3 turns of damage instead of just 2 turns. So, hey. And I think even throwing the Police Revolver doesn't do anything for me, so I might as well keep it equipped. Yes, this is very specific to ghost encounters, but that doesn't change the fact that with most other weapons that do 4 damage, you get 4 sever damage, which we don't get here. Now, this character has the amateur detective, so unfortunately, we weren't lucky here. I could try to reroll, but deduction isn't bad, so I'll take it. And for the, you know what? Nah, we'll do strength. We'll do strength. Because the chance of running into another ghost encounter, theoretically speaking, is still quite low. It's not rare to happen, but it still is more likely than, say, grabbing the katana, in my opinion. So into Teacher we go. Strength helps out for Teacher, that way you can brace more comfortably into the special action. Unfortunately, my RNG in events means that I still need to be somewhat wary or cautious, but hey. Yeah, so this is downtown twice, so that means... Is Metamorphosis school twice? Maybe Metamorphosis is school twice. I'm still hooked up on that, if for no other reason than for myself. Hey, we rolled a 2 on a knowledge check. But in any case, for the boss of Teacher here, obviously, you take stamina damage and then you take doom damage. So yes, reason doesn't mean as much. In fact, I may want lower reason, but hey. I think it was this, maybe it's Teacher that it's... let me think. Now we'll just eat this in the face. Maybe it's Teacher that I'm thinking of, that where you don't do the side quest, you don't get any question mark. I think that's the mistake I made. That being said, man, we are eating reason damage in the face, and maybe I should have switched the police station. We have Doom, so we'll actually trade Doom for that. However, I don't think we have anything else. Yeah, we don't. So away we go. And now, I think this is actually my second encounter, funny enough. So the gore-covered student. So let's see what the Police Revolver gets us. It gets us 9 damage off aided perception. Yes, on lower power enemies. That's the thing I wanted to say. But in most encounters, in my opinion, have enough power to make this spookier. Now, obviously, this is better at the moment. And so this is where Steak Knife and Police Revolver went out. So I'm not going to say they're completely terror bad. They're just below average still. Because say if I had the Monkey Wrench, right? Monkey Wrench is normally, what is it, 85 speed? 85 speed and does 5 damage per attack. So I'd still be able to do attack boost 3 times into Monkey Wrench for pretty much the same. Which is why power value, yes, it's low here, so it looks like the Police Revolver is amazing. But at the same time, the Monkey Wrench also gets just as great odds to two-turn this. That being said, it does depend on your character and their stat spread. But that's why I say there are a lot of weapons that still outclass it. If I were using the heavy-duty flashlight, I'd be doing a little worse. But again, the flashlight has its use in saving you 3 reasons in the lighthouse, depending on RNG, of course. And then provides itself a light source for events that can be painful. Also, if your RNG is bad here, I would still rather use the monkey wrench, because then I could have just prepped strong, whereas prep strong for police revolver and steak knife would result in 4 damage, doubled to 8. Whereas monkey wrench, heavy duty flashlight at least provide 12 to 15 damage, so I'm showing things. See you later. If I didn't catch you, sorry. See you later. Stream seems to work fine, so a difficult character. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. That was way in the past. Anywho. Let me see here. Do I just do this again? I think I just do this again. Considering how much stamina I have here, again, right now we're fine, but if we were doing worse off, I would feel a lot worse about doing this. But because we're not, let me do the sensor here and move on. That being said, the character having a high strength relative to most characters is a big upside. So that's why I say, in my opinion, this character still does moderately well. Sorry. I slurred on that, or mumbled on that for some reason. And then we get out for 3 doom damage. Are we on our own? I think we are, right? For the rest of this run, so we'll take this. What do I just want to dump dump stats into? Probably strength, right? Just because I'm going full out. And we'll move on. On a separate note, paranoia and on your own obviously have synergy because you're not supposed to bring allies, but unless you have Kana, even when you have Kana, if you take on your own, until you get Kana, basically, you get an increase of a stat. Although that contradicts itself because normally you're grabbing Kana at the very beginning of a run, if we're to talk about that point. So in a way, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, if you're on 7th Curse, if you have Paranoia, things like that is when on your own synergizes a lot better. Which is why for Yashiro, it's a little odd. But hey. Unfortunately, failed a knowledge check. Cool. We'll deal with it. Also, I need to remove the sensor. That's right. Sorry. It's just for the school. I keep forgetting about it. It's because I'm commenting, so I did forget. That's on me to get better at doing. But anywho, let's remove the sensor. So. Yeah. Let's see. What do we do here? 6, 10 damage for 8 doom. Oh, my goodness. And it's not even guaranteed. So again, here we can think of the, oh my goodness, the differences in police revolver. Heck, even the crowbar. Although the crowbar is still a below average weapon. But we'll use the heavy duty flashlight as more a normalized weapon. So with the heavy duty flashlight, here we get maybe, well, let's just say we get 10 damage a turn. With the heavy duty flashlight, you could possibly do 8. Does that result in a threshold break? It does. But if we had to desperate action, then I think the heavy-duty flashlight wins out. Because then you do 2 turns, and then you a desperate action. Whereas with the police revolver, again, a lot of the gripe comes from its its desperate action synergy. Or desperate struggle, sorry, to be more accurate to the phrase. And on higher power enemies, or if you're looking for the fire weapon action, it's not as great. Yes, it's a fast weapon. Yes, if you have a damage increase, it's a lot better. But then doing something like this is objectively worse than, say, prep attack with a 4 damage weapon that gets 8. You get what I'm saying? Again, the apparent advantage that you get to do this, but if the power level is even at 30, that results in the same problem with the kick action. But kick has a normalized accuracy, whereas attack with the police revolver or the steak knife results in being open to blood moon, results in higher power enemies winning out against normal attacks compared to kick. And being able to guarantee things on Harbinger is similar to the dodge argument, where you might as well just be rolling on RNG. Here, it's not as bad, again, because this is a relatively low-power enemy. At the same time, 4% Doom, but I don't think we can run from this encounter, because you can't. So, let's see here. What do I really want to do? Now, if you could do 3 strong attacks, that would be a thing. Unfortunately, we can't. And this would be more the normalized attack. But we can go for better here, on average. So we get to 3 turn, but take 8 Doom damage. Do I really want to do that? I don't have much of a choice, do I? So... do I get to brace into anything? No. So I guess we just roll the dice, right? Actually, I should do this, so I don't have to risk a strong attack. And yeah, part of this is because I took this Mystery Fourth, although at the same time, it's Ath. So that's an Ath-specific enemy, if you didn't know. And away we go. Not really much else to say. There are upsides and downsides. We have yet to run to a higher power enemy. But it's mainly the strong action, the fire action being kind of mediocre. Yes, the Devil's Advocate argument is that you're only firing at boss enemies, but 9 for 1 bullet, that may or may not be guaranteed. Again, you just saw me do attack, strong. Do I need to switch this, by the way? No, I don't. So, yeah, for an attack, strong, doing better than the shoot action, which still applies to Police Revolver and Steak Knife. Don't get me wrong, but... let's find out. I think this is a higher power enemy, right? Nope, 15 power still. Eh. At the same time, we can still theorize here. So, say we had Blood Moon. Would I want to gamble on 75-75? And also not be able to brace? So, say when this guy raises his axe... well, let's just go through the... and actually, 4 stamina damage. Do I even survive here? I don't, but that's more a general issue. However, at the same time, can I handcuff this guy? Maybe. 10 HP? No. Funny enough, no. The Monkey Wrench, yes, would be barely out of reach for a handcuff play, but at least we have it available. Is there a way for me to handcuff this in 2 turns? Because if I brace here... with this, 12 HP... assuming I hit all of these, this is not guaranteed, but... I have to think. So we take 6 damage... we do it again for 12. He has 26 HP. And prep is pretty much can be a time unit substitute for desperate action. So what would I do here? Gamble again? 6, 8, 14. That would allow me to... yeah, that would allow me to handcuff this, right? Which is why I said starting with the weapon, it's better than nothing anyway. So if you give someone the Steak Knife or Police Revolver, you can make it where it's a lot better, basically. The other negative issue that most people have with, or most Harbinger players have with Revolver and Steak Knife is that you have to get it. If a custom character is given it, that removes a lot of the downsides. Still, though, would I have liked to use the Monkey Wrench here? Most likely. But here we are using this. Also, this is not guaranteed as well, so... 95% I should feel somewhat confident, but out of fear of bad RNG, hey. But this should be guaranteed, right? With handcuffs, anyway. Let's find out. It is. 15 damage, actually. Because I think this is actually, yeah, 4.5. 4.5. That's why I did 9 health there. I forgot about that. Which is the mini version of the Monkey Wrench desperate action thing. But you still get the point. Although at the same time, Monkey Wrench does the same thing in terms of desperate prep strong. Actually, it does Desperate Prep Strong. On a higher power enemy, the odds changed. Huh, I need to think about that. But, anywho. Double up our dexterity for the sake of the lighthouse, question mark? And we move on. Yeah, so we thankfully have 9 strength, 8 dexterity, 8 knowledge, so we're losing no stamina. Now, are we going to survive stamina-wise? Meh. Is the police revolver better right now? I think it is. Yeah, it looks like it is. Unless I want to prep strong, but we'll find out, right? So. Moving onward. Glued corpse. What do I get here? The same thing, and thankfully it only has 8 power, but let's find out. I think I have to take 2, yeah, I have to take 2 turns worth of damage. And then do the same thing here. I know this is guaranteed, which is why I'm doing it. But moving onward. I need to run into a higher power enemy. That way I can at least, if for no other reason, guarantee to myself. Again, one of the bigger problems with steak knife in particular, if we're using that argument, or that topic, if we're going to be talking about steak knife, is that you have to buy it. And then when you buy it, you have to have 7 to 8 dexterity, like this character has, or 7 to 8 perception, on Harbinger, by the way. And if we didn't have that, again, 7 is the threshold point as well, because then you can at least prep attack. Without that, you don't get to. For me, that's the bare minimum. Again, I'm not saying it's Terabad. Some people do think steak knife and police revolver are Terabad. But again, it does depend on the situation you're in. I'm still looking for an encounter that does a lot. I should actually rest here. There's no reason not to rest here, by the way. But moving onward. Is this one 20 power? You know what? It'll have to do. Thankfully, we get this. We didn't have Blood Moon. But hey, the whole upside to using steak knife police revolver is being able to do this, basically. At the same time, with Monkey Wrench and 9 strength, you can still do this. So you wouldn't even have to take a risk. Which is why, in some people's opinion, mine included, Monkey Wrench still outclasses. Heavy Duty Flashlight, again, we talked about. If you don't get this, you have a light source for the lighthouse and for events. Which, again, as I always say, when you're providing RNG, things like that, and technically Heavy Duty Flashlight is RNG in that manner, you should provide a guaranteed benefit, which is the same problem I have with Dodge. Here, though, I guess we might as well do this, right? 10 damage? Oh my goodness, 32 HP. Do I want to eat this in the face? Is the real question. Probably just run here, right? Yeah, probably just run here. So let's throw away the fire axe and throw away the library notes. We're on timeline A, because otherwise we would have gotten the torch, and away we go. I'm trying to think of situations. Because yeah, the Monkey Wrench would still get prep attack. And the reason why I keep mentioning it in particular is, 1, me, along with some other Harbinger players, usually enjoy the Monkey Wrench, and 2, the argument, or the debate in particular, was about Monkey Wrench versus Steak Knife, or faster weapons that do 3 damage, basically. Also, that's right, I have Hard Knock, but hey. Even if that's the case, though, you need the stats to back it up. And I guess in that case for custom characters, if you're just going to give your character 7 to 8 into their stat on Harbinger, then I guess it's fine. But if we're talking about other characters, base characters, it can be more problematic. So let me just make sure. Second, I should still survive no matter what. But let's find out. I don't remember my second encounter for some reason. I want to say it was the gore-covered student, right? Because I went on a whole spiel about Recluse into Teacher. Let's find out. It wasn't. I ran into something else beforehand. If it wasn't the roommate, whatever. No stakes, and I still survived regardless, I think. Yeah, because Botanist, Recluse, something else. Anywho. Oh, I guess I'll just slap myself when I watch this VOD, if and when I watch this VOD later. But into Zektas I go, where this character should have a much easier time. The whole reason why we talked about the police revolver and the steak knife, by extension, is because this character starts with the police revolver. What do we have right now? 10. Exquisite Taste, Zektast. Oh, buddy boy. Zektast, Exquisite Taste, character exclusive, custom character. Do I dare go out of my mind and use the vending machine instead of police station? All for the sake of maybe hard knock for this character. Oh, buddy boy. This is not normal, by the way, to start with 8s in a stat. So maybe this character is, well... I always say, better to have a weapon than none. At the same time, police revolver is not... Maybe that's just... well, it is bias at this point, but light, dexterity, second knowledge, and maybe charisma. We're on Zektast, though, so... If we get Zektast events, we may be able to put 8 into a stat, but I'm not going to rely on that. Also, we died at 42% Doom because my charisma is... This character's charisma starts at 2, so I guess we will police station. And be a bit safer with our options here. And that being said, starting with a weapon on Exquisite Taste anyway makes this a lot more palatable. Unfortunately, well, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Ramen, Teacher, Festival Coma, Bulletin. We have Teacher again. Maybe Festival? I guess we're going to take Festival next. It depends. Festival might be 4th, it might be 2nd. Depends on how hurt I am. So what is our... Well, we're sending things to the forest. Just guaranteed. Because we also have Festival, so that's 5 forest investigations guaranteed. That being said... Yeah, maybe the character should be at least average. Didn't I already say that? Or did I say something else? Why did I take this check knowing I had 2 charisma? The unfortunate part is that because this character has 2 charisma, yeah, we need to... Funny enough, we're hoping for leadership, so we can buy more time effectively. But we'll see. You know what? We'll just take out of funds to try and reduce the amount of doom. What's the goal of the stream? The goal of the stream is to just play Ath and Zektast on each custom character. I think that's what I'm going to be moving towards. And I say it that way because Ath is, in my opinion, the best character to showcase most characters. Obviously, if you're a spell-based character, that changes somewhat. And then Zektast because Zektast. And also to kind of get into the flow of learning Zektast and upsides and downsides. Or thinking about upsides and downsides. Either or. So funny enough, you need Paranoia to get an ally here, but at the same time, we'll keep them for now. Better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. Although I do like fun, so hey. Unfortunately, though, we're about to lose some things. We might be losing more things, but thankfully not. So we'll trade stamina for reason. And move on. Do I want spells? Thinking, no. Because I'm gonna go for something else, and we'll see. Not that it's gonna happen. I'll still have to see. The wine bottle, funny enough, is a big oof, but we'll hold on to it. So, yes, remember the note, and move on. STE. Yeah, so STE, in my opinion, and from all the episodes I've done, and if anyone watches a lot of World of Horror, you should see that STE, naturally, unless you're looking for it or accidentally make a resting mistake, you're not going to run to STE. Now, if and when we get more apartment mysteries, maybe that's going to change. But for now, not really going to happen. As we take Festival next, I want to see the Spiral Hood, but let's find out if we get that. The weird synergy of Ryuichi and Reiko, I guess, is what this run is going to be called, but we'll find out. Also, we don't need to let them go, so maybe we can do a thing. There's a lot to explore, basically. Let's try not to sit on our, not laurels, but our preconceived notions, me at least at the minimum, as we move on. This is another low power enemy. At the same time, I would personally not like to take a risk like this. But we'll see. So let me think. Again, we're trying to compare the Monkey Wrench and the... Is Monkey Wrench 85 base speed? Does anyone know that off the top of their head? Actually, I can look that up. I might as well. Let's do something here while we're learning about the game in general. While with custom characters. Because the thing is here, right? Say if I were making a custom character that has 8 perception at the start of Harbinger. If I had 8 strength at the start of Harbinger... No, it's 80 base speed, so you only need a threshold of 7 strength. Kinda hope there'll be an SDE-focused mystery in the future. Hey, custom mysteries. But if you mean base game, I understand what you mean. So, the debate here. Police revolver or steak knife, by extension. Because steak knife has almost the same... As it doesn't have... I'm just gonna look that up too. World of Horror, steak knife, unless people are lying on the wiki, which... I trust the person on the wiki to some extent. 72 speed at base. But that doesn't excuse anything, because assuming we have 8 dexterity. 8 dexterity is 72 speed. 72 speed, that would be 48, right? 48 speed on a regular attack. And on top of the... It's really the action limit. I think something you could do, if the developer decided to, this would result in a lot of bugs I can see, but let's just get my suggestion out. Increase the action limit proportional to dexterity ? That might help. Because what that would allow is double attack boost attack 3 times. Which does play a factor in 20 to 30 power encounters. Let me try to see. And that's assuming you start with the steak knife or police revolver, because otherwise you would probably normally want to take something else. You'd also have to enable dog shop for steak knife in particular. But for a character that starts with a weapon like this, close to these stats, when you use the monkey wrench, and because it has 8 speed, you only need 7 strength or a time unit action increase, which is why Toshiaki is also benefits from this, to do prep attack, and that's guaranteed 10 damage. Here is guaranteed 6 damage, but in this encounter specifically, if I do this, this is not guaranteed. If I miss one of these, let's be super safe and say we miss a normal attack, we only do 7 damage, which puts this at 8 HP. Can I do this? No, this is not guaranteed either. And this is a 7 power enemy, by the way. But anywho. The reason why my accuracy was a lot better in the previous run too is because I leveled up really fast. If I were at level 3, this would be a non-issue. But unfortunately, we're not. So, as people talk about STE in the chat, which, again, is normally something you don't run into unless you're looking for it, or you make human errors, I guess we're gonna roll the dice here and see what happens to our face. Well, we missed one of the most important things, most important attacks, but we'll go for it again. Again, more than a few Harbinger players, along with me, do not like the odds on this. Whereas with the Monkey Wrench or even the Heavy Duty Flashlight, you have better odds. 2 turning, and we missed it again, so we'll just get out. But anywho, on our own. We are not on our own. Reporter's bag. Oh, that's right. Deduction reporter's bag. Oh, boy. What's the other one? On our own. On your own in Hard Knock. Which we don't have access to cigarettes. So exquisite taste kind of hurts this character somewhat. But maybe my mind will change. We'll see. Let's visit the forest now and move on with life. Zektast hits us once. We do have some charisma. Wait, did I not increase charisma? Oh, I increased strength. What am I doing? I just increased strength. I forgot I was on Zektast. Well, hey. Help the dog? Hey, we have a lot of allies, by the way, for some reason. We still wouldn't warrant an ally attack, especially not with one charisma, but, you know. Moving on. Maybe, you know what, funny enough, if we get... Do we have enough? Question mark? I don't think we have enough. I'm thinking about doing a thing. No, we would need more, right? Huh. Yeah, we need... No, we don't. No, we need fast hands. We need fast hands. Fast hands is required. I was looking at a ZKS loop. Don't think we get to do it. 5 Doom. I think the scale's off on strength, funny enough. But I think we get out... Yeah, so 6 Doom, but we get a Spiral Hood, which is pretty cool. So we'll do that. Funny enough, I don't think we can actually do a thing here. Yeah, so we get to brace, but attack the cultist does not save. Thankfully, there's a normalized strat for dealing with STE, so hopefully, as long as you can survive the first 2 turns, I think, you get out. It still does a number on your stamina and reason, but anywho. So we'll do this, but we need charisma, which we may not get before the end of the next mystery, which is really unfortunate. But we'll find out. So, funny enough, we need to use Monument right now to avoid... Oh my goodness. I think 2 is when the STE can start to appear. It still has a very low chance. It's when you get to 3 that you are a lot more likely to run into STE. Still not guaranteed, but it's not great. Nice 12 roll on knowledge, but we'll move on. And I need to remember to increase my charisma, although that last level up really hurt me. If I wasn't building into charisma already, we need a Zektast event to save us, basically. But just get lucky, right? Anywho. I think we won... Ooh. With the... That's right, the Spiral Hood hurts our perception. We can go for this. Do I want to? The answer is really no, but in the fear of my doom increasing, we have to go for it. And then we brace here. Do we even get out next turn if we do this? Thank goodness we can do this, but I don't know if that saves me. We do 9 damage here, right? So we should be okay. Thankfully, we're okay. We need to use the monument. Don't ask for reason, please. Well, we're just gonna eat that in the face and die. I was likely doomed already, but I promise you it was not gonna be great otherwise. I didn't need to do that, but hey. So we'll just do the speed run really quickly, because I don't think I gave that character enough. Although we will switch to Curious Birthmark and speed through. We've talked about the police revolver and stuff already, so we should be fine. We can even old coin away paranoia, which I guess I'm gonna do now. Just hoping that we don't get a worse curse, but you know what? We'll find out. So, pseudo speedrun, we'll find out how fast I can really do this, but we'll see. But yeah, with that said, I still prefer the Monkey Wrench. I would even reroll for the Monkey Wrench once or twice, but it really depends on my Doom management. It really does depend on my Doom management. Because if my Doom is at 22% or above, I might be inclined to not roll for weapons and just take whatever weapon is there for me. Although, if Crowbar and Shovel are given to me, oof, I wouldn't feel good about my odds. So yeah. But if you're gonna give your character a high stat and give them a weapon that scales into that, aside from maybe slow weapons, maybe it's doable. Again, a lot of the debate about weapons on average is considers that you need to get the weapon from a shop, which costs Doom. And if you're gonna spend Doom getting a weapon, you might as well go for a stat-wise better weapon. Either in the heavy-duty flashlight, which grants an advantage along with the light source for events, as opposed to a faster weapon, which may not have guarantees in certain encounters where you want to do attack strong, but you can't because it's at 70% accuracy. Now, if your RNG is good, you do you, but otherwise, as I nearly die to reason here, I would recommend someone get a better... And I think the monkey wrench is relatively easy to unlock, right? So, anywho, we're about to die again, but we have to do this, so away we go. And I need to remember to increase my gosh dang charisma here, because for some reason, as I have to wait here for this thing to finish speaking to me, yeah, I'm not going to level up in time. I may not even level up before time skip. Never mind. Let me correct myself. If we get hunger, we die immediately as well. Otherwise, I still want to heal reason here. There's a very low chance I get hunger right off the bat, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen in this downtown investigation. So, free spell, that's very unfortunate, but deduction into charisma, because we have no other choice. Otherwise, we die at 42% doom. As my doom literally continues to increase. Can I trade my stamina for reason, please? I would really like that. I also forgot to fill my empty bottle, but I'm worried about my reason right now. And I have a boss fight that's going to deal more reason damage. And I ran into an enemy that does reason damage. Gosh dang it. Oh my goodness. So, you know what? 10 perception would be nice normally. That's not a normal thing to happen though. You know what I actually want to do is attack and then trade stamina for reason. So let's do that. And now do I just go out of my mind, right? 87%? Or is it this? Yeah, 9 into 6, right? So I might as well do this to guarantee 1, and then we take a 90% gamble. Whereas with the monkey wrench, I could just prep strong, especially with this character, but you get what I mean. We can rest once here to get some reason back, but I don't think this is going to go very well for me. It's definitely not going to go well for me. Do I gamble here? I said this is going to be more a speedy run, but I have to stop and think about my reason. Funny enough, we just have to keep going. I don't think I survived this, though. Yeah, I should have rested one more time. Would that have mattered? Let's find out. So we can definitely brace into something. Is it the best option I have? Not really. We definitely have to trade stamina, though. So we're going to do this until we can get to nearly 15 HP, maybe? Unless that happens. Oh, that's right. We're on Curious Birthmark. As long as we don't get another stack of brain damage, we should be fine. Although, being able to hit one of these attacks would be great. Unfortunately, we don't. So now what we need to do is dodge. To even hope. I'm just going to do this. I think this puts me in the threshold. But let's find out. We do not dodge, so never mind. Would I have been better with the monkey wrench? I'm trying to think. On Zektast, maybe not. So anywho, let's move on to a nun and see what we have to go through. At the World of Horror character exclusive custom character. We start with the crowbar. Unfortunately, we only have 3 strength, but let's find out. Because we can't have nuns using guns, even though there are a lot of nun characters who use guns in anime. But charisma, knowledge, second, Takushi-san, strength, light, and maybe second encounter. We have... Was it Mind Drain or Book of Gore? I want to say Book of Gore. We'll see on Zektast which one we start with. But we got another spell because of Ath. In case anyone forgot. I guess I'll do a legal day and see how great a 3-strength crowbar is. I promise you it's not going to be that fun, but we'll deal with the cards we're given. We won't look for the rumor. We'll do teacher, footage, ward, recluse, and Kana. We're going to take Kana immediately. Recluse, and we have a high threat level, I think, footage, so... or max threat level. And we need to grab the hospital pass as well. So the hospital pass will cost at least 2, I think. And away we go. So starting out with weapon, as I said, is normally better because at least you don't have to spend Doom getting stuff. Now, would you still rather reroll and probably grab a heavy-duty flashlight with this character? Probably. But we need to grab the hospital pass as well, so we'll try to save on some Doom while we're here. And make use of the perception or knowledge. Perception nice in case we want to try for Katana if that occasion ever comes up. But otherwise, starting with Book of Gore isn't a bad decision either. Although with the Kana start, we can get to 2 reason, 3 turn this encounter. And I'll take a sip of water. And by sip of water, I mean a very long drink. Anywho. Dodge blows, never using dodge ever, even in desperate needs, takes the L. Yeah, as I said, for me, most of the time, although there are some occasions, but they're very specific occasions anyway. You know what? We'll take the risk here for extra experience. And I made a bad decision. But anywho, I guess we'll go for the big RNG play. But yeah, I use dodge as I literally have no other option because brace will not get me out as well. So hey. Do I? No, I don't. I don't. This is absolutely terrible. So I'm just going to take 4 reason damage overall, I guess. And get out. Was that worth the extra 15 experience? Maybe. I mean, it was experience-wise. Reason-wise, not as much, but we'll deal with it. You know, it would have been great, but hey, I have 8 perception, roll a 10, idiot. Me. So we'll grab Kana and move on with life. Unfortunately, we can't manage our items anymore. Well, actually, I think we can we? No, we cannot. That makes me sad. Fine from the camera, but again, the camera flash, I think, is much more forgivable because you get a benefit out of it, even though it's not the most used benefit as well. It still gives you dodge on top of guaranteed, hey, your accuracy is going to increase effectively for the rest of the encounter. Whereas dodge is just, I think my dodge suggestion before has been to decrease damage by 1. That way it still makes it usable. And you don't feel the effect on non-Harbinger anyway because you... I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. I'll go for a double... My reason's low anyway. Yeah, let's go for... We have teacher too. Ooh, hold on. 3 strength. But I want 8 knowledge anyway. I guess we're just gonna eat teacher's doom increase in the face. We have Kana with us, thankfully. The question is where I want to use Kana. I guess we are taking footage into Recluse. But my suggestion for dodge was to decrease damage by 1 because you won't feel it on a non-Harbinger difficulty. Most enemies are doing -1 damage anyway. So that -1 damage won't result in 0. I'm still going to make minimum damage 1. And you're still going to get the ability to brace. Whereas on Harbinger, dodge becomes a lot more competitive if you add my suggestion in because, as we take double knowledge here, you can reduce enemies that are doing 2 damage to 1. So it's useful, and therefore Dex would be a more competitive stat. If nothing else, it allows characters that have an okay Dex value, even though they're using another strength, knowledge, or perception weapon, to use dodge. And 2, for 3 damage enemies, you still can brace for those enemies, but dodge is not a complete, hey, 50% chance to eat it in the face. Whereas if you dodge, cool, you dodged 3 damage, but if you don't dodge, you at least reduce the damage to 2. Do you get what I mean? So, I'd rather take this and hasty aid than the injury now. Maybe that was a bad idea, but we'll see. So, crowbar none. We'll go for it. And then we get to one turn this encounter. I could have dodged, but I wasn't going to do that. So, and then the camera gives +1 knowledge, which is why camera flash is not as much, because you at least have the camera to get, again, a guaranteed benefit, I think, is the most important part for balancing anything, not just World of Horror, in my opinion, if you're going to add RNG to something. Because otherwise it normally loses out to other things anyway as I proceed to die. But thankfully we have Book of Gore. Exposed ribs, not the worst thing in the world. So that would be my suggested buff to dodge, and if that were the case, you can even revert dodge back to 40%. Ish. It's hard to talk about because man, do I hate it. Also, crowbar here loses out to a lot of other weapons because you want to brace if Totoro comes close, but hey. Why did I do that, by the way? Well, now I have to do this because I just did a thing. So, about 40-ish% chance to succeed this hot garbage, which we thankfully do. But again, you're a lot more comfortable dodging things that do 1 or 2 damage, I feel. But if something does 3 or 4, you're really... There's a phrase for it, but you're really, really taking a risk, in my opinion. So anywho. What I can say is that at least... I should have actually drank the wine bottle. I'm just missing out on empty bottle benefits, but... moving on. Not much else to say. So as we try to keep our reason as high as possible, although with Kana we're only taking 2 reason damage, thankfully. We still get to get out in, I think, 3 turns, which is why the knowledge here might not mean as much, as STE comes to haunt us for another run. 5 dexterity, or just take the doom hit? We're just going to take the doom hit. Yes, we have teacher later on, but we should be fine. We have yet to take ward. We still need that hospital pass, though, so we'll just do this. Like, I think it's a bug. I think it's a bug. Or maybe not. Throw it away for stamina, because we're only worried about our reason, mainly in Recluse. Now, yes, you could still die to stamina here, but normally, that's not the case. So what do we get here? Yeah, 5 damage. If we throw an empty bottle, we get to 2-turn this. Do I care about doing that as opposed to healing stamina? Probably not. So we're gonna take the 3-turn. Drink the wine bottle, and then proceed to do 4 damage, because that updates immediately, but hey. So we finally level up again. Ghost connection. Fine, I guess? Yeah, fine, I guess. And we'll take strength, for mainly the purpose of bracing. Although... I'm pretty sure my attacks don't become any better with the crowbar. So I'm probably just going to run from the enemy here. And we'll move on. Yeah, so not much else more to say. What I will say is crowbar probably worse than the police revolver and or the steak knife. In my opinion, yes, that can be a subjective opinion, but I say yes because normally... Oh my goodness, really? In my opinion, I favor faster action, so I have more flexibility in my battles. Does that make any sense? So, in this case, normally we're looking at brace, but if you need to do anything else, like Desperate Struggle into a Prep Strong, Desperate Struggle into 2 attack boost, into 2 attacks. Yeah, I think I would prefer faster actions, which is why slower weapons like Shovel and Crowbar and Fire Axe have really gone down people's tier lists, if I were to use a phrase. But anywho. So we're definitely running from this boss. We are so hurt right now that I don't want to deal with it. I could have grabbed the painkillers, but we're not doing that either. And yeah, we just run. Holy Glyphs Mind Drain. So whether this character starts with Book of Gore or Mind Drain, either one is they're both very, very good spells. And in the hands of RNG, Book of Gore is one of the best spells in the game. So, hey, as we enter Teacher last. Do we have Fetid Fumes, by the way? We have Water, Freaky Flood. So, rip my baths. Oh, that's right. Let me not do that again. We might run into STE, but hey, at least I can show you the STE strat. As we proceed to maybe STE. Okay, good. We were close. One of the few events where you don't want to roll a 1, 2, or a 3. But anywho, 5 Charisma, Heal Reason? Nope, why would I ever? We could still make it out of this mystery. Again, 3 is not the highest STE counter. At the same time, here we actually break a threshold, so being able to 2-turn this guy is pretty important. Which is why 8 Knowledge can be a better thing. But at that point, you'd be taking Heavy Duty Flashlight as well, so... Was there something I wanted to take here? I can't remember, but I'm going to heal Reason and move on. I probably should have taken 5 Strength. That might have broken a threshold. I think you need 6, though. So away I go. And we are... Well, I could... Wait, did I use the handcuffs? I didn't use the... I stored the handcuffs. Whoopsie doopsie. Either way, we're running away. But anywho. Now we'll take out the handcuffs. Maybe I should have increased Dexterity. I guess I'm about to find out. So, we can decrease our doom here. Do I want to? The answer is no. So, into our last investigation, I believe. And I think we should... Oh my goodness gracious. We run. Never mind, this is the last investigation. And the school is about to do a number on our doom. However, we do get a bottle of sludge, so that is our last great RNG thing. As we probably just do the thing. Can I 1-turn this without throwing the bottle of sludge is the question. I actually can. So we'll do that. We'll censor the screen really quickly. And if I don't forget to censor, maybe I'll stop. We'll see. It's been a while now, so I feel like I'm in the clear-ish, but hey. And so the reason why I said you need 6 strength is because with 6 strength, your brace action will be at 117, and that perfectly allows you to fit the 80 time unit action, but obviously since that's not the case, let's find out if the bottle of sludge grants us an extra turn. As we get tiny cuts. Thankfully that's not as bad, but I think we 3-turn this regardless, so we'll just eat this again. Actually, I should have blocked. Okay, never mind. I think that's just a general bug that happens. Badly bleeding, basically, if you see badly bleeding, and for some reason no one knows why, badly bleeding is oddly enough, the template injury that you get when enemies are bugged to give you an injury. I don't know why it's badly bleeding specifically. Maybe it's alphabetically the first injury question mark? Can anyone confirm that? Anywho. We lost Bath, moving on. And I think we're okay here. But definitely in the Zektast run, I'm going to be grabbing another weapon. The crowbar you can at least throw still, so starting with the weapon does still grant its own advantages, even if you're not going to be equipping things, but we basically ignore everything and Book of Gore our way to the top. If we somehow get Broken Jaw, hey, I lost to RNG, which I don't feel as bad about. But hey. So we Book of Gore or forget a spell, either or. And we move on with life. Didn't I remove the sensor? I did. I did. Did I? Does that mean... Now I'm scared. I thought I censored the second... Did I censor? If I censored it, then everything's okay. But anywho. So we throw this. We block this. Question mark. Block this? Don't we have... No, we have Mind Drain. Let's start draining minds. Actually, I should have done a different thing, but I think it's fine. Also, Mind Drain, the other thing is, yeah, Ath does not affect Mind Drain. Along with other spells that are considered good, at least in my opinion. But anywho. Fresh meat, hey, we didn't get that, but moving onward. We should be perfectly fine. Nothing much else to say. So let's see what this character, which spell this character starts with. I want to say it's Mind Drain. Book of Gore could also be the spell, but we'll find out as we get into Zektast. Now, is that strength going to be cool for Zektastings as we do Hunted by the Cult? Maybe. Zektast, Cult, character exclusive, character, custom character. And we start with Mind Drain, so Mind Drain will help us out here, but we're worried about mainly our strength. Everything else will survive the 84% doom, as we have strength, charisma, dexterity, light, second encounter for sure, maybe second mystery, but we're taking 6 stamina, 3 reason, almost guaranteed. Yeah, we're gonna do hardware shop, the preparatory as we move on. If it sounds like I'm being condescending by repeating things that it seems like I'm insulting, it's not, because it is more for me to correct myself on, as I have footage, ramen, vigil, scissors, and bulletin. I could go out of my mind and do this. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do this. If we're on timeline A, so be it. If we're not, we at least get the ghost ritual, which we get the ghost ritual. So clap 5 times, and then next mystery we will super oof our own stats, because we're gonna be grabbing a weapon. So yeah. I'm doing okay. I hope you are too, and I hope you have fun watching this, whether I survive or not. And that's the best I can say about what you're seeing on screen. Otherwise, we're going over the balance of custom characters gameplay-wise, at least. It goes without saying, but I guess I should say it at least once, that a lot of the characters that are made right now, both by modders of all nationalities, that they all look pretty beautiful, handsome in their own way. Also, we got a box cutter. I don't know why I didn't equip that for this, but here we are. I think I can just take 3 stamina damage. Yeah, I'm going to take 3 stamina damage here, because I'm pretty sure the crowbar does a lot of damage when thrown. And if it doesn't, I'm going to cry. 5 damage when thrown, so as I said. Then we equip the box cutter to protect us from anything else, but we shouldn't run into anything else. Maybe. I'm pretty sure, though. 6 knowledge, please. Thank you. A Zektast event would be fantastic, by the way, but that's not going to happen. So, away we go. So we're going to clap 5 times and move on with life. You know what? I was going to say on an off-topic thing really quickly as I pay attention to what my ritual is. Clap, clap, bow, is I said I wasn't going to mention it anymore, but I guess I will mention it, and I'll leave that as it is. Because if you haven't watched the end of recent streams anyway, you wouldn't have heard me say a certain thing, which means me saying the thing I just said will have no meaning, and I'll leave things very vague as I move on. Vigil, bulletin, footage. Oh my goodness. Please don't give me roads closed. I would really like that. Do I want to stick with the box cutter? Do I want to try to turn this into a weapon-to-weapon run? And by weapon-to-weapon run, that's just my made-up term for me going from box cutter to maybe meat cleaver and vigil. I do have Mind Drain. This is a very specific strat. This is not consistent at all. But if you see... One thing I will support World of Horror in is that when you see opportunities arise, it's a good test of your both player knowledge and... How do I want to say? Ability to think through moves and predict, I guess. As we thankfully get more fun. You know what? We're just going to do this. So, because you can recognize situations, and I would call you a better player once you start really, if you manage to start recognizing ZKS loops. I'm going to call them that as I proceed to, Actually, I want the heavy-duty flashlight. The monkey wrench isn't bad, but we're dying to... Well, who am I kidding? It's the monkey wrench. Let's make this the antithesis run of the police revolver run. Although I do want to still use the box cutter. So, and if nothing else, we want to keep the box cutter so we can swap out the monkey wrench when needed. That would be the true unequip, because you can't currently unequip items vanilla. So hey, how to get the school nurse? Trying to find. Do you mean unlock the school nurse? I could search that up while I am going through this, but otherwise at the end of this run we can look that up as well. But let me see. Wiki. Ma. Oh, also I'm on bulletin, so let me do this. Did I never grab the handcuffs, by the way? I'm sad now. We have vigil, so let's put the police station to the mansion. And let's see. School nurse is unlocked by the Shiokawa History V or 5 achievement. History 5. Unlock 40 achievements. That is how you unlock the school nurse, apparently. Let me make sure. Because I'm going to check another thing as well. That is not... I'm actually looking through my DMs for some reason. As I proceed to go back to the game and confront the man for perception. But we need to visit this forest still. Nope, that is not it. And never mind. So I'm going to say that. We'll check at the end of this, because if for no one else, then for me to remember. But as I was saying earlier... What was I saying earlier? I stopped to be silent to think. Otherwise, I would have just mumbled. I need to stop saying that, because the robots can get angry. But... Sharpening Stone. Sharpening Stone, but this character starts with a crowbar. Nonetheless, you know what? Funny enough, we're actually going to go for this. We do have the box cutter, but if I'm going to be using the monkey wrench, so be it. Remind me if I don't remember, please remind me what I was talking about, if you want to hear what I was talking about. Anywho, this is stamina for charisma. We lose less stamina here. Yeah, that's where I also checked. I checked the wiki. I want to say it's 40 achievements to unlock the school nurse, because that's what... The school nurse is tied to the Shiokawa History 5 achievement, which requires you to unlock 40 achievements to unlock 3 stamina. Do I get anything here? If I hit this, maybe. Let's find out. I should be trading a thing here, but I'm not. Nonetheless, I get out this turn without desperate struggle anyway. And now the box cutters are broken. So we'll do this, store the forest notes, take another pair of handcuffs, and move on. So yes. And then remember the note, and leave. Yeah, I totally forgot what I was talking about before. Helping someone out, which... I mean, I feel like helping someone out takes precedence? Takes priority, for lack of a better word, than whatever the heck I was talking about. Also, do I want to do Vigil now? I guess I should. Otherwise, footage would not be bad in case roads close happens, but take Vigil now. We do have Mind Drain, so if I run into the easy encounter / Rumu Ghost, I guess I could try. So we'll see. That, on top of I just want to fight the guest here. I think I have the Doom to fight the guest here. If you have the amount of Doom I have... Oh, well, we're failing everything anyway, so I guess it's fine. But, yeah, if you want to fight the guest with this amount of Doom, I wouldn't really argue. In fact, I might encourage it. I normally just like having Doom at all, so hey. So... what do I want to do here? There's something else I had, right? Yeah, I have Mind Drain. So let's Mind Drain once, and then one turn this fool. As everything goes into my storage. I don't need this many handcuffs. Why do I have so many handcuffs on me? Meat Cleaver, yeah, if I want to save on strength, but if I want a desperate action, I'm going to keep the thingy for now, and let's move on. So, just to let you know, oh my goodness, we won the jackpot, but we could still die to 0 statting. If I want to avoid that, I should just equip the Meat Cleaver now. But we'll find out. As we lower Doom again, what went wrong? Hey, this. So, -2 all, I don't really mind. And I think we one-shot the next guest to come across the path of this nun with a monkey wrench. So yeah, moving onward. Oh yeah, how pretty the latest custom. Hey, I didn't say mine, but there are a lot of modders who have made a lot of pretty fun custom characters. That being said, ooh, this is a little tricky. I would like to defeat this encounter. The odds are good here, by the way. You know what? We're just gonna eat this in the face. No, we're going to Ghostly Spear twice. That's what I'm gonna do. Or once, because I can throw the Meat Cleaver and then do this. We still have the box cutter. We're leaving the box cutters broken in case we need an extra point of strength, because you cannot unequip your equipment, your equipped item. You can store it, you can throw it, but obviously, if we could keep the monkey wrench, I would like to do that instead. So, hey. And let's do this in case we get something else. But we're going to take Ghost Connection instead. And increase strength so we survive the rest of the run? Question mark? No, we still die at 84% Doom. But we can re-equip the monkey wrench if need be. Why? You know what? I would rather the game give me these spells during an Eldritch Parasite run. But let me just continue talking about the previous topic that I left behind. So, we'll hold on to that. So yeah, a lot of characters are beautiful. Now, gameplay-wise is a whole different topic, but that doesn't change the fact that everyone has gone through the effort of making their characters, making a separate costume, really, making pretty good fidelity on, you know, the chibis, the back, the home sprites, as opposed to me. You'll notice that I have a kind of a pattern when I'm making my characters, which results in some oddities here and there, but for the most part, you know, having a character made at all is better than none, if nothing else, but I do sometimes go back and I kind of fine-tune my characters, if not add more, which I'm planning to do for when I add some of the characters back to the repository. I'm pretty sure Elster needs a back sprite rework. I can also let you in on behind-the-scenes stuff, but for now, let me just finish talking about other characters. I want to get through a lot. There's a lot. Some of them are jokes, and some of them are not, but for the most part, I think it goes without saying that a lot of people have put in a lot of time and effort to making sure that their characters look really, really good. You'll notice that I didn't do the mansion side quest here as I move on to another topic. The reason for that, as I proceed... Oh, you know what? We're just gonna Ghostly Spear. Who am I kidding? We're gonna Ghostly Spear. We could also Mind Drain once. But I think I have good odds here. 85%. While this isn't... I did talk about... As I talked smack about the attack strong of steak knife and or police revolver before, at the same time the odds for that were worse than 85%. But anywho, gonna try to get 100% vanilla before you use mods, but really cool how much work goes into it. Yeah. So that definitely at least will allow people, if nothing else, say if you have friends who you know, maybe who might be interested, you're like, hey, do you want to make a character? You want to make events? Do you want to make a mystery? Let them do so, and then you can play with other people's content. If nothing else, a lot of people are making custom content, so that's cool. That being said, let's Mind Drain here, by the way. So we can get out. Made your original character just for your use, but still wanted them to be pretty. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Personal use cases for World of Horror, you can definitely come up with a lot of things yourself, and then just have fun with the game. Again, as I said, it's a TRPG or a board game where you can add more stuff to it. Which is a lot better than a lot of other games that have just come out, and it's not great. Some of them are cool. Obviously, I can't expect every Like, if a game comes out and it just has a linear story, like a certain reclass of a certain OX year, I'll just leave things at that. Those games are still good because, you know, you're essentially, if nothing else, you're paying a movie ticket for $20, but it's something that you can play over and over and over and over again. Whereas for me, say if I were to go to a theater, I don't know the exact cost, but you pay for a movie ticket, which can be like $6 to $12, and then you pay for concessions for a one-time experience, which on its own, I'm not gonna dunk on theaters and stuff. Why do people take vacations, if else, right? You go to theaters for an experience with, say, family members and whatnot, which runs parallel with buying video games where, yeah, it might be expensive for $20 to $40, but you can play the experience over and over again. I think a certain game developers also said the same. But anywho, because I am not through with this run yet. I don't know why I thought I was. As we go into ramen. Yeah, so for my custom characters, as we move back, rewind a bit, I'm going to try to fine-tune some of them or add more stuff. Definitely status effects. Whether or not I'll get to touch on their base thingy-majiggies, we'll see. Also, do I want to do this? We'll see. We'll see. If I don't need to eat, I can brute force the lighthouse by resting. So yeah. But basically, the short answer to all of this, or one of the short answers, is I need to add my characters to the repository in the World Horror server. Hopefully I'll get one done today, and I'll slowly add them in. Question mark. So what we're going to do here is sever, but we're also going to mind drain. We also have memory extract, funny enough. But I can forget one of these, and then we sever here. And yeah, that's why, if nothing else, to talk completely out of left field, that's why Kyrie's challenge in World of Horror is not as bad, because mind drain can be a heck of a spell. As we do nothing. Really? That's stamina? Whatever. We could level up here if I throw away things, which I might do. But first we mind drain even more. Even more. Question mark. Yeah, even more. And then we do this. So actually, I don't need to do the side quest here, because we should be perfectly fine, question mark? Even if I somehow die to stamina, I do have the lump of flesh as a backup, but I shouldn't need to throw anything away, and I have a whole bunch of stuff sitting here. So, and I needed to get rid of a spell, otherwise I would have taken reason damage for no reason. But anywho, let's heal, and let's probably just walk up this lighthouse, and that will be near the end of the stream. So without further ado, as I proceed to just autopilot this lighthouse pretty much, allow me to say that if you want to support me long-term, subscribing would help out the most. It's the most free option. Otherwise, I do appreciate people watching the videos. I do have memberships open for $3. That way you have access to 3 to 4 emotes for if I get the thing done, but I guessed there, by the way. But yeah, that's the more closer monetary value. Although I do still need to do a thing myself. So when the time comes, I would also just advise you to just save on those $3 in case I do a thing. But if you want to support me more, that would help out as well. Obviously, super chats and stuff and whatnot are available, but I'll leave that to each their own. So, as we can also talk about AAA games and them costing a lot, which is the reason why I'm not buying a lot of games myself. Hey, we'll end this stream here. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Not much else to talk about. I didn't go through a lot, but Zectast is a heck of a thing. And when you manage Zectast, hey, turns out things can be a lot better. Without further ado, though, yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'll thank everyone in chat. If anyone has anything to ask, here's the last minute to do so. But thanks for everyone for watching. That's grammar sounds weird, but yeah, go on with your lives. If you had fun, I'm glad you had fun. If you learned anything, same ditto. And I will leave things at that. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer in chat. And that'll be the end of the stream. Go on with your lives. Do be cool. Stay safe. Bye.